Right, welcome back everybody. As you can see behind me, we've got the lovely 1994 ZX9R, and today we're going to be doing the fork seals and the head bearings. Okay, now as you can see, the bars actually turn pretty freely here, but when there's weight on them and you're riding in a straight line, the bike, you start to lean, the bars don't want to turn, they're very sticky in that first point of turn, so I'm pretty confident it's the bearings. So we've got some nice new ones here from All Balls. We're going to switch those out with these new ones and hopefully that solves the problem. Now moving down to the front suspension, the forks, we've got these lovely upside down forks on this ZX9R. However, I did know the fork seals need replacing. The dust seals have completely perished and they've already started to leak now after just one ride out on the road. So there's a bit of pitting on them, so we're going to try and smooth that down with a bit of very fine sandpaper. As you can see here, there's a bit of oil leak, but you can see the condition of them there. They're really old and perished, so they might never have been replaced. So that's going to be something we're going to do in this video today, and we're going to show you guys how we do that. Now I'm not sure how to get all this out because I've never worked on one of these before, but hopefully we can get all the triple clamps out with the bearings as well to get the new ones in. I know they may be a little bit rusty because they've been there for a while, but we'll give it our best and let's find out if we can get them off. So we're going to start by releasing these bolts here on the triple clamp. So you've got the bar mount bolts there and you've got the top triple clamp bolt, and then we'll do the bottom ones. That will release everything, get the fork legs out. We are also going to be taking off the front fairing as it's just going to clear everything out for us, and we're going to be able to access everything that we need to. So let's crack on with that, put it in a bit of a time-lapse video, and we'll get on with it. Alright, that is the suspension, the front forks removed and the triple clamps removed out of the steerer tube there. So if we come over and look at the cut that the bearing sits in, it's actually in really good condition. There's no rust or anything there, which is surprising. However, when you look at the actual bearing itself and you go and pop that in there and spin it, it's really gritty and grindy, and you know, it doesn't look too bad condition, but it's obviously just worn down over time. And ended up causing a bit of an issue with the steering, as this one here doesn't look too bad. Bit of rust in there. It's probably the lower one that's actually worse than the top one because that's where all the grime and dirt gets under. So we're going to switch those out with these fresh new ones here. Look at those, nice and tidy, clean bearings there. Pop those in, but as you can see, that's the process of it all coming out. So you've got your top nut there, little washer, you've got this sort of lock ring. And then this is the part which actually pulls all the bearings together, and you do your tension with that. And then you've got your bearing there itself, and then the triple clamp. So yeah, that went well. When you're doing a job like this, it's definitely handy to have one of these. This is an impact screwdriver, and you can just, if you haven't seen one of these before, what you can do is you put it on the screw and you hit the end with a hammer and it impacts it round, and that gets screws out. Because we had an issue with the front fork, screw that goes into the front of the fork here. So that bit there, and couldn't actually get that bit out and was hitting it very hard for a long time with this, but it did manage to get it out, and that saves having to drill the bolt out and then re-tap it and all that sort of stuff. So get one of these, really cheap, you can get on eBay. This one's a silver line one. I'm sure there's more expensive ones, but this does the job just fine. So there's a nice little tip there for free. Right, now let's go about changing these bearings out. We're going to swap them, put the new ones in, grease it all up, and then we're going to reinstall that. And then once that's reinstalled, we're going to get onto the forks because we're going to do the fork seals. Right, we've completely reinstalled all the bearings, put loads of grease on them, tightened them up, just finger tight, because we're going to do the, what we're going to do, we're going to check the tension on them when we got the forks in, make sure there's no movement in the steerer tube. That's how I want to do it. I think that's the best way to get the tension right, because you don't want them too tight because then the steering hardly moves and all sorts of problems can happen. So we're going to get that right. So we snug that up for now. Now we're going to move on to the fork seals. Right, so we've already pulled one fork leg apart. We've got the fork tube here, and we can see where the corrosion is on the bottom of it. There's a little bit of corrosion there. What we're going to do, we're going to start by using a 800 grit sandpaper, and we're going to sand it down just like that. And you won't get the marks in the fork tube because it's just a very fine grit. So we're going to smooth all that off. We're going to work from 800 up to 1500, and that should give us a real nice smooth finish. Can't do much about the pitting, so really just going to have to sort of hope that that sanding down smooths off any lips there that are going to damage the fork seals, the oil seals on the fork tubes, and then hopefully they should be fine. If not, it's going to have to be a replating job for the fork tubes, or find a set on eBay or something that's not so damaged. But I think these will be alright. I've seen it before. We've done it on a couple of older bikes and it's worked out fine. So we're going to do that with this. As you can see here, they're not really that hard to get apart. You just sort of pull this bit down. Once you take the top cap off, you unscrew this, take that off, and then you're left with this inside, and you pull this down with your hand. You put like I think it was a 14mm spanner, and then undo it, and then the top cap comes off, and then you can literally just pull the forks apart and do the fork seals the usual way. And you're left with the tube here where we've knocked the fork seals out. We'll put the new seals into there, slide it up nicely. So we'll get on with that and get everything back in the bike. Okay, fork seals changed. Here's the forks. Here's the stanchions. They've still got a bit of pitting. We did a lot of wet and dry sanding on that. They're much better than they were. No obvious lips on there. It's nice and smooth. So new seals, new dust seals, oil seals, new oil. Old oil is there. It's black. New oil is that color. So the bike's done, as you can see, 21,400 miles. I don't think the fork seals have ever been changed. You know, the dust seals were so corroded. If I can find them, they're buried deep in the bin. I can't find them, but they were really bad. So let's get these back on the bike, and then we'll finish up the video. All right, look at her. She's back together, looking as beautiful as ever. I do love this bike. Look at it. It does look nice. Old school Kawasaki colours. Can't beat a bit of that. So forks are all back on, all nice, seals looking good, no leaks or anything like that. So happy days, everything's nice and free moving now, which it wasn't before. So very happy with how that's turned out. Now I would be going out for a little test ride to show you guys how it is, but it's pouring with rain and the bike's pretty clean, so not going to do that today. We'll do that another day when the sun's out. But yeah, tune in, stay tuned, subscribe, like if you enjoyed the video, that'd be much appreciated. And obviously, like I said, we are going to be doing a full road test on this and the Ducati as well. We just haven't had any nice weather lately, so we'll be getting all those out within the next couple of weeks. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one where we'll be test riding the ZX9.